Michelle. During this crazy time, it is nice to remember that Jesus is the reason for the season. We get ready with many Christmas traditions. So let's get ready for Christmas. Why do we do that? Part 2.
Merry Christmas. We are your hosts coming to you from Cloud 25 Studio. I'm Agnes.
I'm Judy.
I'm Caroline.
And I'm Michelle. And this is Christmas. Why do we do that? Part 2.
We have a big lineup, so let's get started.
I can't wait. Agnes, what's up first?
Yes, what's up first? Funny you should ask, Michael, but do you know why candy canes are popular at Christmas time?
Well, I know who has the inside scoop. Let's go to our reporter on the scene. Take it away, Devin.
Thank you, Judy. I'm here with Choir Master Von Schrader in 1620 Cologne, Germany. Thank you so much for your time today, Choir Master. Please tell us about how you invented candy canes and why. We're also interested.
Thank you, Devin. It's great to be here. The story of candy canes go back to that Christmas of 1620. My choir and I were rehearsing for the big Christmas Eve performance. The boys were so good, but the performance was so long. It was hard to keep them quiet and focused.
You know, boys will be boys.
Well, I can tell you I was worried our performance was going to be a disaster. I was walking back from rehearsal and passed by my friend's sweet shop. Little Tyler was putting freshly baked peppermint sticks in his store window, and then I had this brainstorm.
I love peppermint candy. That's why I like candy canes so much. This is all so interesting. Please go on.
Well, I bought one peppermint stick for each of my choir members. It worked beautifully. All the boys were quiet and well behaved, but that led to another problem.
What was that?
Eating candy in church.
So, what did you do?
I got together with Lothar and thought of adding the hook. The hook looked like a shepherd's staff. I told the congregation that the boys were all shepherds. They thought it was a wonderful idea.
But I thought the candy canes were white. When did the red stripes start?
Back in 1620, I didn't have any food coloring, all our candy was white.
This worked for us because white is a symbol of the purity of Jesus.
Candy canes were white all over Europe for over 100 years, but in England, candy makers added 3 red small stripes, symbolizing the Blessed Trinity, and 1 large stripe for the redeeming blood that Jesus would shed for all of us.
How did it catch on in the United States?
The tradition came with the Europeans way back before the Revolution of 1776.
And in the 1920s, a candy maker named Bob McCormick figured out how to twist the 2 colors around. Hi, Bob.
Hey, Lothar, it is nice to see you and the tour master. You know, my brother was a priest. He told me all about the stripes on the candy cane, and I followed the tradition ever since then.
So, candy canes are a sweet reminder that Jesus is the reason for the season.
Tastefully put, Choir Master. I'm your reporter, Devin Ju, here in Cologne, Germany. Choir Master, Choir, Lothar, Bob, and I all wish you a Merry Christmas. Back to the studio and Christmas. Why do we do that? Part 2.
Thank you, Devin, for that sweet report. From now on, I will always think of Jesus when I'm enjoying a candy cane. Say, Caroline, do you hear all the noise from backstage? What's going on back there? That's not noise, Michelle. That's the Christmas carolers rehearsing. And that brings us to our next report. Let me guess. Noise control? No, Michelle. Our correspondent, Pete Perez, will tell us all about Christmas carols and carolers. We now go to Pete, who is in Rome with St. Francis of Assisi.
Thank you, Caroline and Michael. I'm here with St. Francis of Assisi. Good afternoon, St. Francis. It is good to be here with you.
It's good to be here with you too.
Can you tell us a little around the history of Christmas carols and caroling?
Of course, Pete. That's one of my favorite subjects. You know, people have been things to show praise and happiness since the dark ages. Unfortunately, the church at that time did not share love music. But that wasn't the only problem. The songs were all in Latin, and most people didn't speak Latin. And the tunes weren't very catchy.
That doesn't sound like the carols of today.
No, certainly not. In 1223 AD, I was setting up the nativity scene outside the church. That was the local children were watching me set things up.
They must have loved to watch all the pieces of the nativity come together.
They were so excited, so I invited them to join me. I told them stories about the first Christmas and let them act out the scenes. Then we made up songs that they could remember. Everyone went home very happy.
That sounds like a great day.
The kids loved the song so much that they sang a song called Christmas Time. Next year, the nativity play grew to a much bigger event, and every year after that, it got bigger and bigger. People started making up more songs. They would sing on street corners and meeting places. Then, professional songwriters and composers started writing Christmas music too.
Welcome, Mr. Handel. Mr. Handel was a very famous German composer. In 1741, he composed The Messiah, which includes the very famous Hallelujah chorus. I loved hearing that piece. It was popular and still is many years after I created it. At that time, it even gave the church the idea that music was good. Let me introduce you to my friends, Joseph Moore and Franz Gruber.
Hi, George.
Hi, Joy.
Let me introduce you to Pete. Welcome, Joseph and Franz, to Christmas. Why do we do that part 2? Joseph and Franz got together in 1818 and created the song Silent Night,
Which is the all-time most recorded Christmas carol in history.
And my personal favorite.
People from everywhere love Christmas music.
That's right. Did you know in 1870, France and Germany were at war? On Christmas Eve, in the middle of the battle, a French soldier leaped out onto the battlefield and sang O Holy Night.
Then, a German soldier started to sing a German carol. All the troops started to sing along, and the fighting stopped just to celebrate Christmas.
I heard that happened in World War I and in World War II. Both sides agreed to a Christmas truce. That's amazing.
And in the wars in North Korea during Vietnam, soldiers organized troops of carolers to come heal the homesick.
I love listening to the carolers at the year. There's so much joy and happiness in Christmas carols. It really gives you the Christmas spirit.
You heard it here first, all about Christmas carols, the happiest part of Christmas traditions. This is Pete Perez back to the studio and Christmas. Why do we do that part 2? Thank you for that upbeat report on Christmas carols and caroling.
It makes me want to sing our next introduction. Who is ready to explain the next Christmas tradition?
Well, Judy, go right ahead. You're going to hear about the 12 days of Christmas.
Oh, that's one of my favorite Christmas carols. On the first day of Christmas.
Take it away, Candace Carol. The 12 Days of Christmas is a very popular Christmas carol. You might think it's just a lot of nonsense, but it has a fascinating history. We appeared in 15th century England, and with Father James, Father John, and Father Tom. There were all Catholic priests during the reign of King Henry VIII. What can you tell us about those birthdays in England?
It all started when King Henry wanted a divorce. The Pope said no way.
So the king told everyone in England that they could not be Catholic anymore and set all the priests away.
Some of us stayed but hid from the king's men. We held secret services.
And they have secret codes for ones that stay true.
Even during Christmas time, King Henry celebrated the 12 days of Christmas.
The 12 days of Christmas are the 12 days starting on Christmas Day and ending on the Feast of Epiphany, January 6th.
So I made up this poem to celebrate the Catholic faith.
The most important thing to remember is that the true love is God, because all good gifts come from God.
We brought some help to unlock the code of the poem.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. The partridge in a pear tree represents Jesus, the Son of God, whose birthday is celebrated on the first day of Christmas. Christ is represented as a mother partridge, the only bird that will die to protect its young. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me two turtle doves,
These twin birds represent the Old and New Testament. In this gift, we can find a complete story of Catholic faith and God's plan for the world.
On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 3 lanterns. These birds represent faith, hope, and love. This gift goes back to the chapter where St. Paul wrote about love.
On the 4th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 4 calling birds. This is one of the easiest parts of the song codes to figure out. These birds are the 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 golden rings. On the gift of the rings represent the first 5 books known as the Old Testament, known as the Torah and the Jewish faith. On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 6 geese and lambs. This can be traced back to the first story found in the Bible. Each egg is a day in creation, a time when the world was hatched or formed by God. On the 7th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 7 swans a swimming. It would take someone very familiar with the Bible to identify this gift. Hidden in the code are the 7 gifts of the Holy Spirit: prophecy, ministry, teaching, exhortation, giving, leading, and compassion.
On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 8 maids of the king. As Christ saved even the lowest of the low, this gift represents the ones who receive his word and accept his grace. Jesus cared as much about servants as he did about royals.
On the 9th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 9 ladies dancing. These 9 dances were really the gift known as the fruit of the Spirit. The fruits are love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. On the 10th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 10 words of teaching. This is an easy gift to understand, as those were judges and in charge of the law. This code stands for the 10 Commandments, fairly straightforwardly to Catholics. On the 11th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 11 pipers piping. This is a trick question. This stands for the apostles. There were originally 12 apostles, but when Judas betrayed Jesus, there were 11 apostles who carried the message of the Lord. On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 12 drummers drumming. The 12 drummers ties directly to the Catholic Church. This is the code for the 12 doctrines of faith in the Apostles' Creed.
This fun song really is a valuable lesson in faith.
That was a beautiful story and very educational. Thank you all for listening to me and letting us in on the secret code. This is Candace Carroll here in 15th century England. Back to you in the studio at Christmas. Why do we do that part 2?
Thank you, Candace. That was so interesting. I will never listen to that tale the same. You will always tell me a deeper story. Michelle, what are you doing? First I lost my shoe, and now I lost my sock. It's all very strange, and I would really like to find my sock. I need to hang it up for Santa. I like to hang up my stocking too. Do you ever wonder why we do that? I have. Now we go to our reporter on the scene, Sam Taylor. Sam, are you ready?
It's great to hear from you, Caroline. We are all set. I'm here with St. Nicholas, a Catholic bishop in the 4th century Turkey. Hello, St. Nicholas. How are you? Tell us how you started feeling something from children.
Hi, Sam. This is Isaac. He is the man I was talking about. I didn't mean for my little act of kindness to become such a big tradition. I was visiting a parish and I heard of this family that was in real trouble. I was in trouble. I was raising my 3 daughters and we were so poor. We had nothing to eat. I had no money for my daughters' dowries so they could not get married and have a better life. It was so bad. I thought I would have to send my oldest girl into slavery, but I couldn't do it. That night, after my daughters washed up their stocking and hung them by the fireplace to dry, we all went to sleep. I prayed to God for help. I heard of their problems. That night, I quietly reached into an open window and threw a gold piece to the oldest girl's stocking. I used the gold piece as a dowry for my daughter. She got married and had a happy life. I was able to do the same for Ivan's other 2 daughters. I thank God for sending St. Nicholas to us. The townspeople
stockings hoping for miracles.
Tell us what happened when you died.
When I died, to honor my memory, people celebrated on my birthday, December 6th. Children would hang up their stockings in St. Nicholas Eve. They would hope for miracles, and they would find small toys and candies in the morning.
How did it become a Christmas tradition?
In 1823, Clement Clark Moore's poem, The Night Before Christmas, was very popular. The author changed St. Nicholas Eve to Christmas Eve. It is now a happy Christmas tradition.
Thank you all for coming and telling us your stories. Every tradition gives us more ways to prepare for the Savior's birth. This is Sam Taylor with St. Nicholas and Ivan. Back to you with Christmas, Why Do We Do That Part 2.
Well, Judy, I've certainly learned a lot about Christmas tonight. What do you think was the most interesting? It's so hard to choose.
It is hard, Agnes, but the real lesson is that Christmas is a time for giving of ourselves.
That's right, Judy, and not just to friends and family, but to everyone. It is up to us to spread God's love and happiness throughout the Christmas season and all year long. That's all for now. We look forward to seeing you for the next episode of Christmas, Why Do We Do That? Merry Christmas!